Hello, and welcome to this live training on how to create and keep momentum in your heart-centered and spiritual business. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you 4 tips on how to keep and gain momentum in your business. My name is Teresa Mazzella, soulful business strategist, bringing together mindset, soulful strategy, and aligned action. I find that bringing those 3 elements together really creates a thriving business in a way that feels amazing and connected and fulfilled. So I am super excited to be here today and share this topic with you. I'm just gonna hop on my computer here just to make sure. Okay, so for some reason my picture is showing up and not the video. Let me just play this and then I'll pause. Okay. Okay, it's working. For some reason, a picture was showing up rather than the video. So welcome to this live training. This is one of my favorite topics because it's something that I have had to work on in the past and still work through. And as a spiritual entrepreneur and heart-centered entrepreneur, I feel like this is something that we do work on. I feel like this is something that is an area in our business that is so common for spiritual and entrepreneurs to experience, and that is those dreaded lulls in the business, in your business. So that looks like one day or one week you're on fire, you're feeling so inspired and creative, you have all these amazing ideas in your little coil book and in your head, and you are ready to take on the world, and then the next week you are completely uninspired, you are completely overwhelmed, you're frustrated, and you don't even know the next step. And this back and forth, this on and off really starts to have an impact on our business because number one, it creates inconsistency in our businesses, and consistency is key to a thriving business. Number 2, it really does have, and when we're inconsistent, it really does have a direct effect or impact on our business because we're not out there. We're not being visible. We are not out there and attracting the right clients and sharing our gifts with the world. Therefore, our profit, we're not making any sales. We're not out there creating a profit in our business, and we're not even out there sharing our gift and sharing our passions with the world. So this dreaded lull for spiritual entrepreneurs is so common. And the reason why, it's common with all entrepreneurs. I, however, feel like it is more common with spiritual and heart-centered entrepreneurs because we are more sensitive. We pick up on universal shifts. We pick up on other people's energy. We pick up on the energy of our clients, and we even we feel things on a much deeper level. And so that is why for a spiritual and heart-centered entrepreneur, this is so common. And this is something I feel like it is important for all of us to work through and really allow ourselves to move through this and to move through learning these tips that I'm going to teach you today because this is going to affect your business. And when we learn how to move through those lulls or move through those downtimes in a very supportive and healthy and self-compassionate way, we actually start to shift the pattern. We actually start to shift our mindset about the on and off, the high and low, because we learn how to move through these situations with resilience. And we learn how to keep moving in a way that's very supportive and honoring our mind, our body, and our soul. So when I'm talking about moving through the lulls and moving through the downtimes, I'm not talking about the push. I'm not talking about just pushing through with your mind here. I'm not talking about pushing through with drain and with struggle. I'm talking about leaning into the experience and allowing that experience of that downtime to serve you in a way that you can still be consistent, still be visible, and in a way that you can create insight and wisdom into the situation so that we can keep moving and shifting and creating new pathways in our brain and our mindset towards success, so that we can keep creating that soulful and aligned strategy and keep taking that aligned action that we need to take within our businesses. Now, here's the thing. We are not going to be in a high vibe, this amazing high vibe 24 hours a day. It is normal to experience highs and lows. That is life. That is human experience. And we are meant to feel the contrast. If we were in high vibe all of the time, then it would be really difficult for us to gain insight, to gain wisdom, to see our path, and to really gain insight on where we're moving and where we're going, what feels right, what doesn't feel right, and to get those clues on that the universe is telling us on, when to slow down, when to shift paths, when to tweak, when to adjust, or when to really just lean into that sacred and soulful self-care. We are meant to feel contrast, and you will feel contrast. So I want to let you know, before we even move into the tips, that it's completely normal to go up and down in your business, up and down in your life. There is a phone call. We are meant to feel this, this contrast. It is completely normal. However, as a spiritual entrepreneur, we probably feel it a little more. So it's learning how to balance, honoring our mind, body, and soul, and still being able to show up for our business, still being able to be visible and show up for our clients in a way that serves everyone and offers everyone the highest value and highest experience. And again, it's about learning how to move through the downtimes and the lull that will help you shift your mindset and keep you visible. So does anybody have any questions about that dreaded lull? Okay, so I'm going to go into 4 tips that have been game changers for me. One particular has been a super powerful game changer, and tips that will help you gain and keep momentum in your business while moving through the lull. So I'm not here to tell you that there aren't going to be those downtimes, and I'm not here to tell you that we need to be in a high vibe all the time. It's simply learning how to work through these challenges in a very supportive and self-compassionate way that still keeps us out there and showing up like a boss. So number 1, you've heard me talk about this before, and I will keep talking about it because it is so important. And that is a sacred morning practice. Or at least if you can't get it done in the morning, at least a sacred practice throughout your day, before bed, whenever that is. And I like the morning because we're not depleted. We're still have a full cup of energy, and we can just extend that and leverage that energy in the morning. So what a sacred morning practice does is it allows us to create an intention through the day and align our intention with our actions throughout the day, which can create soulful and aligned action within our business. And when we dive into and lean into a sacred morning practice, we fill our cup. We create connection to divine guidance. We start to look within rather than out, because oftentimes when we hit these lulls or these downtimes, we panic and we start looking outside of ourselves for that perfect strategy, that perfect funnel, that perfect formula, and that perfect way and path to success. And the thing is we've got the answers in here. And yes, it's important to learn about strategy. And once we learn about strategy, it's up to us to look within and discern and determine what is aligned with us, what feels right. And a sacred morning practice will allow you to dig into that in a way that's beautiful. So we can start digging into those soulful actions and soulful strategies right in the morning. So when you wake up and dig into or lean into a soulful and sacred practice, you fill your cup, you create intention, and you start creating aligned action that is connected to your intention, and you look within for the answers. You will become inspired. You will come up with those amazing ideas for your tribe. And one thing I often ask myself in the morning after my practice is, how can I serve my tribe today? Or once I sit down to my computer after my practice, I ask myself, how can I serve my tribe? How can I offer value to my clients and to my tribe today? And that keeps you connected. So that is one tip. And I know it might look like, well, but that's taking time away from my work. And how can I sit there and have time for a sacred practice? It works, especially if you are a spiritual and heart-centered entrepreneur. It helps you keep your vibe high. It helps you keep your, not that it has to be high all the time, but it helps keep you in a place that will allow you to work through challenges and these lulls in a way that is super productive and in a way that is much more easy and easeful than if you were completely depleted. So sacred morning practice. Number 2, start getting curious about these lulls. Start getting curious about when this happens. So you're you're really high and on fire and moving, and then you drop into this overwhelm. Start getting curious about that, because that could be a mindset thing going on. That could be somewhat of it might be depletion, might be something that is depleting you. It might be that you're out of alignment. It might be you're trying to fit yourself into a cookie cutter business model. And it might be a little bit of even self-sabotage. I don't like saying that all the time, but it could literally be self-sabotage sometimes. So really start getting curious about it, not from a place of blame or a place that you're that you're blaming yourself or saying, I should do this and I should have done that, but in a really curious and supportive way. And then perhaps you'll receive some insight and some clues and some wisdom as to why you are feeling these lulls. And then you can create the shifts. Once you become aware of the belief that's behind these lulls, or aware of the reason behind the lulls, and then you can find pathways to solutions. And perhaps it is simply that you're depleted, and so you bring in repleting practices. Perhaps it's maybe a package or a program isn't completely aligned with you, so you just tweak it in a way that feels aligned with you. And so these lulls can actually serve us if we allow it to, if we allow ourselves to see the opportunity and wisdom in these situations. Again, this is contrast. This contrast teaches us. Contrast gives us insight and wisdom. So get curious about the lulls, and look into them, and lean into your emotion, and lean in and turn within. So number 3 is more of a strategy. It's more of a mainstream strategy. And it is, have a plan for when these downtimes occur and when these lulls or these feelings of uninspiration occur, because they will happen. They happen to me. They happen to my clients. They happen to my coach. They happen to my coaches. They happen to the best and the highest earning coaches and entrepreneurs. It doesn't matter what level you are at, you will experience the contrast. So it is so important to have a plan in place for when these things occur, so that you can keep being visible and keep showing up with consistency and be there for your clients and be there for your tribe and keep getting your name out there, or your services, and share your passions with the world, because that is what we want, and that is what we desire. So some plans that you can have in place depending on what your business looks like, and depending on if you can hire help or not. Some plans can look like hiring a VA, hiring a virtual assistant, but if you're not there yet, there are so many other plans. Repurposing content. Remember, not everybody sees your content all of the time, so it is okay on those down days or days that you don't have those amazing ideas and inspiration and you're not feeling that flow, to repurpose content. Because we still want to be connected with our message. We don't want to just be putting out content just to put out content. We don't want to put out stuff just because we feel like we have to. But sometimes when we look through previous content, we can say, oh, you know what, that message is really important, and I really would love to get that message across again, or bring that message out again. So repurpose content. Have a list of questions, even for your Facebook group or for your Facebook page or for your personal page, that you can put out. Simple questions, because even if you're don't have a lot of inspiration, there are still ways that you can create visibility and create consistency in your business. So have a plan in place, because these times, these little down times will happen. Hold on one second. Okay, tell her I will call her back. I have a little guy home from school today, and the phone just rang. Hey.
Yeah, Mommy.
See, this is what happens. This is the part of being human with Facebook Lives. And if you watch my Facebook live training on how to fall in love with Facebook, these are the things that are going to happen. So as I was saying, have a plan in place for when those downtimes occur, because that can keep you visible and that can keep you consistent, and that could mean simply hiring help, having a list of questions for your Facebook group, repurposing content. And number 4, this was a game changer for me. They're all game changers, but I feel like this one was the biggest one. And that is getting super clear on your soul values and aligning your business with your soul values. Soul values are natural abilities that we have, that we carry within our heart, we carry within our soul. Whether we are aware of them or not, we are living these and using these values each and every day. And when we use these, and when we are consciously aware of these values, these beautiful gifts and values and strengths within us, then we can start aligning our life and our business with these values, which creates momentum, because we're working with ourselves. We're working from a place of natural alignment. And when you start stepping into your values and into your strengths, you create alignment. And a lot of times when I find myself out of alignment is because I'm not living my values. I'm not living my strengths, and I'm not taking action with my values and strengths. And so when we start aligning our life and businesses with our values, we have access to this natural energy that is within our heart and within our soul. So we're not forcing it. We're not struggling to find it. We're not looking outside of ourselves for the answer. We're looking within. And sometimes it's simply a matter of looking at your list of core and soul values and looking at where they're present in your life and business, where they're not present in your life and business, and then shifting into those values and bringing those forth into your business. When we start to work with ourselves, then we start to create more momentum. We start to create more flow. And leaning into your soul values will get you into that flow state. And that was a big game changer for me because I've had a pretty solid morning practice. Usually I get curious, and I have had a plan in place for quite a while on how to stay consistent. What amped my consistency and visibility up and my success within my business up is really aligning my business and my life with those amazing soul values that are within us. And I started working with myself, not against myself, and I started seeing those values and in a way that was unique to me, and that is how I serve my community, is with those values. So that was a super amazing game changer for me. So those are super easy tips. Sacred morning practice. Fill your cup, keep your vibe and flow moving so that when these lulls or challenges come up, you can still keep moving and you start to gain some insight and divine guidance. Get super curious about the lulls, about the downtime, because that lull or downtime could actually be an opportunity for you to see what's going on and to become aware of some of the beliefs that are holding you back from stepping into your zone of genius and creating success in your business. Number 3, have a plan, because when we experience these times, it is really important to still maintain some visibility. Again, we're not going to push. We're going to push through these times. We're going to lean into these times in a very supportive and self-compassionate and curious way. It is still important to have a plan so that you can still get out there and be consistent and be visible during these times. And then align your soul values with your life and your business so that you are working with your beautiful energy rather than against it. And you are working from a place of flow space and alignment. And that is what we truly desire as a spiritual and heart-centered entrepreneur. So that is how you can create more momentum and keep the momentum going in your business, even when you are not high vibe, because that is okay. We are human. So have a beautiful day. Today, I am releasing 2 spots to my Illumination program. It's a one-on-one 6-month coaching program that will allow you to really get clear on your soul values, to get clear on your mindset beliefs, and so that you can start moving forward, taking aligned action and creating a soulful strategy plan that will allow you to bring your business to new heights. So I'm releasing 2 of those today. If you are interested in that, I'd love to chat with you. Hop on a discovery call with me. I will share the link below. And we can dig a little deeper and see if I can support you and to see if this program is aligned with you. So have a fantastic day. Bye.